this training that we're doing tonight is going to be 102. Okay. All right. So let's go back to Meta's chart. So we covered the 200 being the moving average that we use to see if a stock is in a uptrend or a downtrend overall. So this tells us overall what type of trend a stock is in. And then the 12, because that number is smaller and it's only looking at 12 candles, it's telling us in the short term. You see how the candles get above it really fast and they get back under it, and you can see these different little up and down moves quicker with the smaller, lower time frame moving average. Okay. All right. So let me turn these on the wolf chart. All right, quick. All right. And so we also covered, saying a candle opening and closing under our moving averages to show us, and they flip to this red color to show us what a downtrend is. So when the both of these moving averages are red, you can tell that you're in a downtrend that's aggressive. When the 12 flips to blue, that means that the 12 is trying its best to get back above the 200 moving average. So price would come up and try to test this red line. But until this blue line gets back above the 200 into this 12, the short term trend moving average gets back above this 200, the stock is still in a bearish trend. Okay. So what we're looking for to see when Meta is truly ready to try to go back up and go to higher levels in a sustainable way, you will see not only is this 12 flip to blue to show us that the trend is trying to go into an uptrend, you will see price get back above, the candles get back above this 200, it will turn from red to yellow. And then you will also see this 12 get above the 200. And so this is a way you use moving average so that when the faster moving average, the smaller one, the 12, gets back above the bigger one, the 200, that's a trend shift. So it's shifting and it's showing you, okay, now I'm ready to be in an uptrend. When it got below it, you can see it's ready to get in the downtrend, and you can see that over and over again on any stock. You want to see these shorter term moving averages above the higher ones so that you can have a sustainable uptrend. Okay. So today, what we're going to talk about is realizing when it's time to trade and a confirmation system that you need to use. So anytime you're getting into a trade, you need to understand if there's an opportunity, first of all, for you to make some money, you need to understand what does that look like. And also you need a confirmation system that tells you, okay, this is when I get into the trade and this is when I exit the trade and things like that. And so in I'm gonna just explain my confirmation system to you so you will understand how I enter into a trade and what I look for. So the first thing that I look for in a trade is we're trying to look for the location, like where are we at on the chart, right? And so let me turn these off and so we can look at these black lines on the chart. So we talked about these lines yesterday. These lines are support and resistant lines. Okay. So if you look at Meta's price action, you see how when these lines are really tight on Meta, you see how the price action is kind of choppy, right? When you see these big gaps between these lines, this is where you make your money. So you hear sometimes people on YouTube or just traders in general say, "Hey, this is an A plus trade setup." And so what an A plus trade setup looks like is you want to see an area on a chart where you have the least amount of resistance or obstacles in the way of the price of the candle just moving up freely or moving down freely. So when you're looking at a stock chart, you see how when a person said the price action is in a choppy area or it's in an area where you got to be in and out really fast, it's these type of areas. So right here, if we look at this price between 580 and 600, right? So let me just get this price tool so we can see these easy. So we got levels here on Meta, right? We got levels here, right? So now, even though both of these are nice ranges because we're on a daily time frame, and so we see that Meta, once it breaks and holds above this 580 level, it can quickly shoot up to 602, right? But the bigger A plus trade is when Meta gets above 602 and holds with a dominant candle. It means you see a candle open and close with the full candle above this level, and you see your moving averages and everything are in agreement, this is the best range to trade Meta in to make the most money, right? This range right here, Meta can push up aggressively in this range, and it has done it in the past. So there's two things you want to do. You want to see, okay, to verify this is an A plus range, you first of all want to see that it has ran in that range in the past, right? So we can see from 602 to 690.54, Meta has pushed through this range before, right? And so we see back here when it got above this level, it pushed from 602 up to this next level. And we see here when it dropped down, once it got under this level and it was bearish, it dropped down really quickly back down to this level. Then we see back here in May of 2025, once it got above this range, it shot back up. So it's often it comes in this range and it's able to move really quick within this range. Okay. So you can mark this down as an A plus trade setup. Okay. If we look at Tesla, for example, Tesla's pushing up in the range, but we just bring our chart over to the side. Let me delete some of these lines I created. All right. So we look at Tesla's chart. We see you have a couple of A plus ranges on Tesla as well, right? So this range right here between 213, and not that they're gonna ever go back down here. I just want to show you what the A plus trade range look like. We got this range here. We got another one right here. And we got another one up here, right?